So I don't typically ever edit any of my videos. Partially because I'm lazy, and partially because I don't really know how. How about that? I'm sure I can figure it out, but like I just haven't really had much time to go in and edit videos, which is fine. I don't have to. But anyway, with these being ceramic pads, you're supposed to get them really hot, really fast, and then let them cool down slowly. From what I understand, that's so you can break in the pads and rotors, and you're supposed to let them cool down without the pads touching the rotors so it doesn't warp them. Think of it as like seasoning a frying pan. And for those of you who know nothing about cast iron pans, that's not going to mean anything to you. Think of it this way. Well, the reality is, if you get something really hot and cool it down really fast, it's going to warp both ways. If you've ever taken a baking pan and put it in the oven on a really high heat, and you look at it and it's all bent out of shape, that's what will happen to your brake rotors. So you can have brand new brake rotors, get them really hot and cool them down really fast, and you're going to ruin a brand new set of rotors. So lucky for me, I got this 500-foot hill right next to where I'm staying. So it's pretty easy to break in a set of ceramic pads and rotors. All I got to do is ride my brakes down the hill. And in this particular vehicle, and I believe my Subaru, I did the same thing. I rode my brakes and kept speed going down the hill, which means I'm now driving with my foot on the gas and the brake. And I'm doing about 35 miles an hour. So this hill, I don't know, it takes about 10 minutes to get down. I just dropped about 300 foot in elevation on that part of the hill. I'm still riding my brakes, accelerating, doing about 35. And I'm coming up to the other part of the hill. Now, this is probably not real good for my rear brakes, considering this is still a drum brake setup in the back. Like I mentioned before, this is quite literally stock brakes. The only thing I've done is upgraded the front to drilled slotted ceramic brakes. So I'm going to go ahead and drive this around a little bit. Oh yeah, they grab real good now. You saw the vehicle moving around when I hit the brakes. My track bar and my steering are not on the same plane. They're slightly off. It causes bump steer. So this wants to pull to the right pretty good when I go to stop. Like I mentioned before, these are brand new brakes and rotors, and I have adjusted the rear drum brakes. It's probably time to do that again, because wheeling in the dirt and the mud and the sand and all the things we have up here in Washington State, they're probably not self-adjusting. They're probably packed full of mud, dirt, and sand. So I probably need to take those off, go ahead and clean those out, spray them, clean them out with brake parts cleaner, inspect the rotors, or not the rotors, the drums and the shoes, because they're not pads, they're shoes. Inspect those, see if they're okay, how much life is left on them. If they're good, adjust them through the adjustment hole, and go from there. So the manufacturer of these particular pads and rotors is Detroit Axle. I've been using their products for a little over a year. I have not had any problems with any of the parts they've sent, except for whatever reason they can't seem to get the right brake drums or brake rotors for a Nissan Titan, which I don't really like working on the Nissan Titan anyway. Nissan's not my favorite manufacturer. I do like the GTR. Who doesn't like a Skyline? But as far as manufacturers, Nissan's not my go-to. I would have a Datsun 280Z. I know that's the same manufacturer, but we're talking 50 years ago. Different mindset in manufacturing around the entire world. There was no, we need the lightest, semi-lasting, automotive, cheapest built junk that we can make. And I will say, like, brand new car, garbage. I hate them. I do not like a brand new car. I don't care who made it. I don't like them. There's too many computers on them. There's just too much. It's too much. I don't want to have a car 20, 30 years from now where I gotta pay for a service like a phone, whether the car's paid off or not. I don't want to pay for your software updates through the computer. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to continue rebuilding the vehicle that I have, because it's got a very simple computer on it, and it's enough to operate the fuel system, and that's enough for me. I don't want all your updates and corporate control over my automotive freedom. I don't care how cool your gadgets are, I don't want them. It's bad enough I'm attached to a phone all the time. So, anyhow, the brakes on this are doing absolutely fantastic. I am sitting at a red light. I have the vehicle in park, and my foot is not on the brake. That's what I was getting to. So the manufacturer says, do not rest the pads on the rotors while they're cooling down during the break-in procedure. So during the break-in procedure, if you have to come to a stop sign or a stop light, go ahead and do that. But as soon as possible, put that vehicle in park, especially at a light, because you're going to be there for a while. Put it in park and make sure that the brake pads are not touching the rotors by simply taking your foot off the brake. I've had customers come by and pick up their vehicle after doing brakes for them, and I've let them break in their brake pads, and I let them know, okay, when you go down the hill, ride your brakes all the way to the bottom, and once you get to the bottom, just drive slow, drive the speed limit all the way to the stoplight, because it's quite literally a half a mile or more to that stoplight on a 35-mile-an-hour road with no other stops in between. So it's a substantial amount of time for those brake rotors to cool down, and I've not had any customers complain about warped rotors. So great manufacturer. I love the stuff. They don't always carry everything for everything. I believe that a lot of the stuff they get is reman, or they remanufacture it, except for obviously brake pads. Those are brand new. But I believe most of their stuff is reman stuff, because they've been out of stuff that I'm looking for a lot. I was looking for brake rotors for a 98 Subi, rotors and calipers, and so that particular year Subaru, one of the calipers goes out faster than all the other ones. It's probably a proportioning issue, and they didn't have them in stock, because most people, they'd replace it with a new one and then throw the old one away. They wouldn't bring it back in for a core. So if you have cores on your vehicle, please take them back. Don't just let them sit around and rust away. Those can be repurposed and reused. Plus, you get your money back by returning your core. And some auto stores will give you a core refund even if you didn't buy it from them. So, something worth looking into. I hope you've enjoyed the video. These rotors work awesome. If you watched my earlier video, this was a review on drilled slotted rotors, ceramic brakes, instead of a WJ knuckle swap. I would recommend this. They grab a lot quicker and a lot faster, and I feel they're substantial enough. But I know, like, if you go for the WJ swap, there's some work involved, but they're also two piston rotors, or calipers, sorry. They're two piston calipers, and they're a bit stronger. But if you're going to upgrade the calipers to bigger calipers, then you should also upgrade the booster, especially if you're going to go from a WJ knuckle to an XJ, or from an XJ knuckle to a WJ knuckle, so you can put the bigger brakes on. It is a very, very good idea to go ahead and just upgrade the whole system. Might as well do front, back, front and back drilled and slotted rotors, because the WJ's rotor all the way around, and they have a different what's the word I'm looking for? They have a different size master cylinder, so you do not want to upgrade all the other brake parts and use the same master cylinder, because it's not the right size. So you're really going to want to, if you're going to do the swap, get all the parts from the WJ. That's knuckles, that's That's calipers, it's brake lines if you need them, or you can just use whatever brake lines you got. But I highly recommend taking all of the brake system, not just part of it. So, anyway, if you were looking for information like I was on the drilled and slotted rotor swap without having to do the W-jet knuckle swap, well worth it. It stops much quicker, and I suspect that it'll stop going down hills much better out in the field while I'm wheeling and trying not to slide off the rocks. And now my brakes will actually grab instead of creak forward because I'm on 35s. So hopefully that helps you with some information in what you're going to do in your XJ build, or your Wrangler build, or your Comanche build, because those three particular vehicles are basically, they're pretty much the same vehicle with a different wheelbase and a couple different driveline things, but the majority of that stuff is exactly the same. So